Is the planet stupid? And it is the planet stupid. I'll start with California's electric vehicle rules. President Trump plans to sign a trio of resolutions tomorrow to revoke California's nation-leading vehicle emission standards. Senator Shelley Moore Capito, the Republican from West Virginia, author of the resolution to nix California's electric vehicle sales mandate via the Congressional Review Act, and Representative Kevin Kiley, also a Republican in California, confirming that the White House has scheduled the signings at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Trump's signature will finalize his administration's months-long effort to thwart California's authority to set stricter electrification rules for passenger vehicles and commercial trucks, along with higher standards for heavy-duty diesel engines. Republican lawmakers promised to quickly roll back the Biden-era EPA waivers that gave California the power to enforce its rules. Administrator Lee Zeldin announcing that his agency had put them into review. That was in February. And then the Senate sign-off on this maneuver stretched until last month. And so it will be. Trump's EPA revoked an earlier version of California's vehicle emissions rules through an 18-month regulatory process during his first term. California Attorney General Rob Bonta is promising a legal fight over all of this.
So we elect people in California that will give us the clean air and the clean water that we're looking for, that we want. And the federal government says, nope, you don't get the clean water and you don't get the clean air that you want.
Yeah. I think that's exactly exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm a tree hugger, so for me, it's a really dark day.
I love Tesla.
Yeah, he was out in front of the White House,
not
pitching
anymore.
Electric vehicles, within the last month. Not anymore. He wants to sell the Tesla or get rid of it.
He says he's going to sell his Tesla, I guess, because Musk made it.
I guess you won't see the Tesla in the parade that's coming up this weekend. Trump's EPA is to claim power plant emissions are, quote, not significant. But studies say otherwise. U.S. power sector would be the world's sixth largest emitter of planet-heating greenhouse gases if it were a country. If it were a country, the U.S. power sector alone would be the sixth largest emitter of planet-heating greenhouse gases. But Trump's administration is set to claim that all of this pollution spewing from U.S. power plants is so globally insignificant it should be spared any sort of climate regulation. I leave the greenhouse gases out. I do. Mark Thompson does. Because I think the greenhouse gas conversation doesn't penetrate all the greenhouse gases. You get into a whole conversation about greenhouse gases and warming. I'm just talking about pollutants. Why wouldn't you want to restrict the tonnage of pollutants that are discharged into the air? It seems to me to be smart. You want your kids and your grandkids breathing air that's progressively more polluted every month?
No.
I mean, there are serious health repercussions, emphysema, and any number of cardiorespiratory issues that result from breathing in all of these pollutants. Trump's Environmental Protection Agency has reportedly drafted a plan to delete all restrictions on these gases coming from coal and gas-fired power plants in the U.S. because they, quote, do not contribute significantly to dangerous pollution.
I wonder how much they paid for that. I wonder how much the coal and the gas companies and the power producers, how much did they pay for that regulation to be stripped away?
I think you have in the GOP, sadly, a party that is all too willing to do the heavy lifting for the dirtiest energy you can possibly imagine. So this is an awful, awful thing. And it comes, as I say, on the heels of rolling back the regulations on California's EV vehicles and the mandates that are associated. That is to say, the incentives that are built into California law. So you have rollback on pollution, and again, you have this, in my judgment, wildly misguided plan to take away any incentives for EV vehicles. And on to AI. AI data centers could drive a new wave of air pollution in Texas. The boom in artificial intelligence power that is required to drive it is so very significant that there may be a corresponding pollution from new gas power plants that is going to affect Texas.
Yeah, they have
State regulators are considering proposals for more than 100 new gas power projects, the vast majority of them entirely new plants to power a new wave of data centers for AI. More than 30 have already been permitted. It's a rubber stamp, apparently. To meet the increasing demand for electricity, Texas should be encouraging more clean energy instead of feeding public subsidies to dirty fossil fuels, said the executive director of the Environmental Integrity Project. The plants are spread across the state but cluster around Houston. The I-35 corridor between Austin and San Antonio also has a lot, and the oil fields of West Texas will have them as well. If they are all built, they could produce as much pollution each year as another 27 million new cars and trucks. It's like doubling Texas's current motor vehicle fleet. Oil and gas pollution, I'll just remind you, includes volatile organic carcinogens, benzene, asthma-triggering compounds, ozone, nitrogen oxides, lung-burrowing particles, as noted here, like PM 2.5. I mean, these names and these chemicals, they don't need to mean anything to you. They're just all really bad. And so, again, I view this as really being led astray. And Americans, I think, don't even get this information because right now all eyes are on California and Texas and places where the National Guard is showing up and the smack talking between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And what is happening in the environment is immoral. And it completely goes orphaned, essentially, by the media because, to be fair to the media, the shiny object show is a serious one as well. That's It's the Planet Stupid for today.
More.
It's the Planet Stupid.
No. It's the Planet Stupid.
Next time, only on The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.